sometimes this path may not look like we think it should look, and we judge it. So we're going to talk about this today. So if you're interested, stick around. The question here is, can we honour our own path? There's a little bit more to this. Can we honour other people's paths too? But we'll talk about that a little bit more at the end, because that's for people that are really strong. So we'll start off nice and lightly. So what do I mean by honouring our path? Well, let's say we play a game of cards. We get 5 cards, for example. Well, if these cards suck, sometimes we feel hard done by, right? But we have to be able to honour the cards that we have so that we can play the game. Can't get new cards, right? If we've got these cards, we have to play with them. And this is kind of what I mean here. Sometimes our paths are difficult, and sometimes they take the route which doesn't look spiritual at all, and sometimes it doesn't look spiritual in the slightest, and we know this, right? But that's okay. Sometimes, I've said sometimes a lot, haven't I? But I'm going to keep going. Sometimes on our path, we can judge the experience that we're having. We're judging our own life. We're judging the hand that we've been dealt. And that's okay for a while as we play out a little bit of victim, and that's all right, because we learn through it. But we can switch this. We can be grateful for the path that we've been given. Sometimes the ego will go, no, I can't. I can't be grateful for this mess. I've been given 5 2s rather than 5 aces or kings. I can't do anything with this. And it's okay to take that attitude, right? But it's not really going to get us anywhere. Maybe we have been dealt a hard hand, and if that is you, I was about to say I'm sorry, but I'm not. Because life's too perfect to be fair. The thing is, our abundance is in having a body in the first place. And we can do lots with this body, but the miracle of life is that we're here. That's the fundamental, isn't it? We've been given life. And like I said, we can play out victim roles, it's okay. But in time, for true empowerment, we're going to want to own the hands that we have, because as soon as we own the hand that we've been given, or own the life and honour the life that we've been given, then we can do the work that specifically only you are here to do. Sometimes we think life is happening to us, but truly it's happening for us. So long as we have the right attitude. If we don't have that right attitude, then that's okay. We do a bit of yoga to cultivate that flexibility inside of ourselves, to have a cheerful vibration, perhaps, in relationship to the maybe bad hand that we've been dealt. But bad hand implies that we're judging our life, and therefore we're not honouring our journey. And that is okay. But again, it's not going to get us anywhere, apart from perhaps becoming an alcoholic. And I know this in my life. Why? Because we judge. Judgment separates us from other people and separates us from our own path. If I judge my path, I'm at a distance from it because I believe that this path isn't good enough when it's at the divine will, God created me, created you, created everybody, and created the path or the package that we need to sort of chip through inside of ourselves to create whatever it is that we're here to create, that life wants us to create. You ever heard that saying, what you want from life, life wants from you? And it's true in a way. I never knew I wanted to do this until I got on the yoga mat and started chipping away at what I perceived to be me. And then this happened. And I love it. All right, sometimes I fight with it and sometimes I judge it. And when I do, I feel separate from it. And it creates a difficult time for me inside. So first task, I suppose, not really a task, but first idea we're throwing out there is, can we be grateful and can we honour our path? Even if it doesn't look like the way that it's meant to look like from our spiritual ego identity. What do I mean? Well, we can be grateful for everything. Everything in this life can be used as a way to further develop, and can be used as a way to wake up to the truth of who we really are. The pain of abuse will make you wake up, isn't it? And so at first, what we think is a really bad thing can actually be the thing that creates the highest reality for us. And this takes strong ears to hear, but then that's love. Not necessarily from the other person, but love from God or life. Every experience moved through is good. Is that insensitive to say? Because trust me, I don't sit here upon high. I sit here having moved through really shitty experiences. It's what created me. Those were the challenges that I needed to create the perspectives that I required to be able to serve the people that I'm going to serve in my life. It's the judgment that holds us away from honouring our own path. So if we're doing that, something to look at. Now, if you are not a strong-minded or strong-willed person, that's the end of the video for you, because the next bit requires somebody who has matured enough in their journey to be able to do this. And I trust that will be a lot of you guys. But let's just see, because I can see in the background, behind the YouTube, who switches off at this point. Not literally who, but I see the statistics. So we might see a dive at this point, but here we go. The next task then, if we're ever going to teach or anything like this, is can we honour somebody else's path, even when it's in friction with yours? Well, what do I mean? So I've had some experiences in my teaching journey where people are in a mindset of huge amounts of blame. And they'll use that blame with a sword and attack you with it. But what they're not realising though, and I know this, it's my karma, because I've done that too with my teachers. We blame. Because why do we do it? Well, we do it because we're scared to accept responsibility for our own life. Isn't it? And I've been through an experience like this lately, where somebody in my life has been throwing so much blame. And that creates, of course, at me, and that creates, of course, a lot of discomfort in the system, but it's here to make us grow. Thing is, if we fight back with the mind, we're also in blame and in ego, and this isn't it. As a teacher, and this can only really be done with a really mature nervous system and lots of training under our belt. And if you want to train, then down below there's some free breathing practices, free yoga. There's some one-to-one coaching if that's what you want. It's not free though, but you have to apply down below. And then the coaching itself isn't free. There's a free community as well if you want it. But this is really for a mature nervous system. Can we honour their journey as well? Meaning, can we not judge their experience as wrong? Can we accept it? Because if we can honour our path and honour their path, because trust me, even in their blame, they'll begin to realise, okay, this is the mind I'm believing in. It's no one outside's fault. It's not my fault, but I'm believing the mind and blaming. Well, this is creating a huge amount of energy loss for me. This is going to consume me. If this keeps going on, I'm going to be exhausted, and but in time, that will lead them to their awakening too. And so can we honour their path, even when it seems to be in direct conflict with ours? The only way we can really do that is if, one, we're in integrity with ourselves, and we know that we've done right by everybody in the situation, and if we're okay with somebody else shooting arrows at us. This is how we become truly unshakable in a way, because you recognise, this is just your path to enlightenment, that's okay. Let me bless you. give you all the love you need, and let you deal with this in your own way. I hope this helps. Have a great evening, and remember, if you can, be grateful for your own path, because it's in our interests to be, because everything that we need is leading us to our highest possibility, if we let it. If we get stuck in blame and that, it's okay. It's okay. But it's going to take a little bit longer, isn't it? A little bit more work, perhaps, for us to realign ourselves out of that blame in the mind and come back to our true self and realise I am worthy of love, and I am worthy of creating the highest destiny for myself, even if I have to go through crazy stuff to get there. Okay, have a good evening. Namaste.